What's up, guys? So welcome to my vlog number 2 for Dr. Yoon's TV race and film class. To get started, score conference. I actually got to hear a voice recording of the whole entire talk with Dr. Yoon because I was unable to be there because of work and other circumstances. But one of the things that I found that was super interesting that she talked about was the Bill Cosby talk. Bill Cosby, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a beloved actor, writer, screen director. He's the Cosby dad. He's the typical, he was the American dad of like the 90s and the 80s. He was the what you want to be like dad. He was a doctor, had a wife and everything. And he was accused recently, like 2 years ago, of sexual misconduct and rape with a lot of women. And it was crazy because the thing was that once one person stepped up, it's like this domino effect where a whole bunch of different people stepped up. And my understanding is that he went to court. I'm not really sure what happened with that, but he's a male dominant figure, and you have all these people accusing him, and people are like, no, that's Bill Cosby, that's Bill Cosby, he's the American dad, he's all this. Like, that excuses what he's done wrong, how he's treated women. So I found that pretty interesting, yet scary. It's because it's like, we love these people on TV, but we don't know what they're really doing behind the screens and behind when the show turns off, what monsters they can actually be. Okay, and the second reading, what I want to talk about is one of the readings on masculinity. I found this very interesting. It's very true what people say about masculinity. The article was from the Huffington Post, the HuffPost, I'm sorry, and it talked about certain things that men can do but women can't do. It's like a double standard here. The post basically talks about how that men find danger exciting, toughness is a form of emotional self-control, violence is manly, it's fine to be callous about women and sex. So basically, women can't do these type of things, but men can. It's not okay for men to cry, but it's okay for women to cry, because women are expected to cry and men are expected not to cry. And what I found very interesting was, even with the clip that we watched in class, I can't remember the name of it, but basically they're saying that men have to uphold this image, and if they don't uphold this certain image of being manly and tough, then they're weak and they're a wimp. And another thing in this article talks about 56% of 527 advertisements depict one or all four of the things that I just said about men. And basically, men are basically allowed to be like super violent in movies and like do all this crazy action stuff that women are not allowed to do because they'll be looked down upon. And it's just this stereotype that Hollywood has about what men, or the stigma, what men are supposed to do and what women are supposed to do. For example, in more realistic terms outside of Hollywood, we would think that men are supposed to be the head of the household instead of the women. And basically that's what this article is talking about. Sometimes it's okay to cry, sometimes it's okay to feel pain, and sometimes it's okay to feel defeated. But because of what these stigmas and these stereotypes and what advertisements are saying, is showing young boys and older men that it's not okay. It's not okay to do this because you're considered this. I found it very interesting because I feel like, realistically speaking, if everyone has emotions, everyone's human, everyone goes through different things. So if you have to cry and you're a guy, it's okay. But guys don't find it okay because of the world we live in, because you'll be considered weak. So I feel like we need to break through that pattern and show people that it's okay to cry, it's okay to have feelings, it's okay to have emotions, and not everything has to lead to violence. One of the readings that I found like super interesting to me was the Disney screenplay dialogue broken down by gender reading, because I love Disney movies. I grew up on Disney movies. I like woke up on Saturday morning and watched Disney movies. And the article basically breaks down gender percentage, like the roles of men and the roles of women, and the gender more aspect. And movies that you would think that are majority women, like Frozen, for example. Frozen was 50% male, 57% male. And it's like, come on now, Frozen stars two princesses, and yet it's predominantly male actors playing the voices, and it's only 43% women. So I found that like super crazy. Inside Out, a movie that talks about a young girl's emotions and how she's dealing with her emotions, it's 36% male and 64% women. Now the women are kind of winning right there, but for example, when you have movies such as Mulan is majority male actors playing these roles. And Mulan is about a Chinese warrior woman who goes off into war for these different races because she was kind of crazy. And it's starring a girl, but yet it's played by majority of men. And it's kind of like crazy because it's like men are still dominating not only the acting world, but the animation world also. I mean, they're both acting, but one, you see actors on the screen, and next you see animations, and men are still like winning in movies that are supposed to be about girls. Like, I found that so crazy because it's like the girls never seem to get to win at this point because men are always taking everything from us.